Hello, Steve White, Steve White's 89. I just did a video about how Michael Burnham was not the first black female captain on Star Trek, either the production or the fiction of the show. And I actually forgot to mention the first on-screen captain was Erica Hernandez in Star Trek Enterprise, the second NX ship, the Columbia, around 2154. I forgot to mention that. She was the first female captain, but she wasn't the first black female captain, so we're talking about that. But so far as Batwoman Season 2 is premiering today, and it didn't get the best review from Variety. And there was a guy called Ethan Alter, who was on Yahoo Entertainment, who made the very bold statement that her being a black female Batman, basically, playing Batwoman, the black Batwoman, she's as much as a trailblazer as Nichelle Nichols on the original Star Trek. I found that to be very insulting. Oh my God. Okay. There have not been any black female Batwomen or Batmen on screen so far before her. She is the first. But she's not the first black woman to play a major character in a Batman movie or TV series. Catwoman has been played by black women in both the original series in the 60s when she was replacing a white actress, which was a huge deal at the time. Apparently, Eartha Kitt doesn't matter now. That was huge. And then Halle Berry got her own movie as Catwoman, as a black Catwoman. And people are like, okay, it didn't do really well. I actually saw it in the cinema. I really liked it. I have it on DVD. I haven't watched it since. I've been meaning to watch it to see if it was as good or bad as I remember. But it was good. I enjoyed it. I don't know why it doesn't get the acknowledgement that it deserves. So she's the first Bat person, basically, black Bat person, that I know of. As far as I know, it wasn't done anywhere else in any other animated series or anything. I know it wasn't done in the movies or the TV series, the original series. But I don't know, what was Birds of Prey? Who was in that? I never saw it. I didn't even know that was related to Batman for the longest time, and I still haven't seen it. But yeah, I just find this a bit insulting. Nichelle Nichols, this was in 1965. No, the first pilot was 65. She didn't come onto the regular crew until 66. Yeah, she wasn't either of the pilots. So yeah, 66. This was there was a lot of racism. And for her to get that role on the show and to be seen on the screen, she was the first actress not playing a stereotypical character, contemporary character like a maid on a TV show on American TV. It was a huge deal. Having a black woman have her own show at the moment is not a big deal. It's good. It shows progress because once upon a time it wouldn't happen. I think the first black actress who ever had a show, I've forgotten her name. She played a nurse. Oh, and I've forgotten the name of the character as well. I used to know this. Damn it. I didn't write it down because I just thought I'd remember that. But yeah, she was like the first character. She had her own show. It was like the year after. It was the lady from Dynasty. Oh my God, I'm drawing all these blanks. It's embarrassing. Not that anyone's listening, but still. Diane Carroll. Julia was the TV show. It was like 67 or something. So, and she was basically, I think she was a single nurse. Or I don't know if she was divorced or just single. So she was the first black woman to have her own TV show. What's her name? Jacinta Leslie is not the first anything. Yes, she's the first black Bat character, Batwoman. That's true, but it's not that remarkable. It's good. I haven't seen the show yet. I saw Supergirl. I love the first season. I've got the second and third seasons. I haven't had time to watch them yet. People are saying it started off well and then went to trash and it's all woke. And I'm like, I don't totally trust those people's opinion because their idea of woke is anything that's not white supremacist half the time. So I'm going to watch the show and make up my own mind. I loved the first series. I really did. I can't imagine it getting drastically bad. They did change networks though between the first season and the second season, so there could have been some drastic changes I'm not aware of. But if the second season is good, I'm just going to assume the whole rest of the series is. So I just saw that and I just thought that's either ignorant or just insulting and disrespectful to sort of undermine a role like Nichelle Nichols had on the original Star Trek in the 60s, which the only other comparable really character would have been Eartha Kitt playing Catwoman in Batman, which I think was 67. Because I think she had the show the second season, I think. God, I should have done a little bit. I've got some literal notes on a page here, but I sort of thought I thought I knew all this, but it doesn't really matter. It wasn't. It was the same era, same time, and it was something to see a black woman on the screen back then. There weren't a lot, but now we've had so many shows, so many characters, so many actors, so many films and TV shows with major black characters or leading black characters. It's not as much of a deal as it was. It's still good. We still need to have more of it. I personally like diversity. I don't like seeing all white people on screen. I find it incredibly boring. I don't like white people. I don't find it very interesting. I would rather see people of colour and just different cultures, because I don't need to see my life on screen all the time. I've seen it all the time. I grew up, every character was me, and it was boring. I don't see why people are so threatened by less of us on screen and more of other people. I don't get that. But yeah, I just found it insulting just felt it undermined Uhura's character, and they don't even mention Eartha Kitt or Halle Berry. As far as I saw from someone reading out about that article, they didn't even reference them. I don't know if the person just didn't mention that. I should have read the article myself. But yeah, I just had to mention that because it just really irked me. I thought it was in Variety, but it was actually from Yahoo Entertainment, this guy, and I'm like, he sounds like a Yahoo making a statement like that. But it's all about the optics, it's all about the clickbait, it's all about getting attention, and whether it's a true statement or an accurate statement, the people who won't know any better will read it and think, wow, that's the truth and it's amazing. People who do know better will be offended. Either way, you get people's attention. I guess it's all about clickbait, all about strategy. Or it could just be ignorance, and the guy really actually has no idea about the history of television and black women in television. Not that I'm an expert, I just happen to have observed a few things over the years. And I mean, it's of note that Lieutenant Uhura's character, she wanted to leave the show because she didn't have as big a role as she wanted. She was originally planned to be one of the big four. If anyone's noticed, there's this picture of Kirk, Spock, Uhura, and McCoy. And she was supposed to be the fourth main character originally. But her role did get reduced. And then she had offers to do theatre work in Europe, and she was like, I'm going to go do that because it's more interesting, because I don't get to do a lot. She told Gene she was going to leave. He was upset. Then she went to an NCA, is it NCCAP or NCAP meeting, and she was told, and this is a story, everyone's heard it, and I've heard her tell it 3 times now, I think, which was a pleasure. I've spoken to her a few times in person. It was great. She basically had someone tap her on the shoulder and say, Miss Nichols, is a Star Trek fan here for you? She's like, oh, God, okay. And it was Martin Luther King Jr., and she was like, well, okay. He's telling her how great she is, and she's like, well, of course I'm leaving the show. And he's like, no, you can't. Sorry, this is the only show my kids can watch because there's a female black person on the show who is like equal to everyone else. You do not get how important you are. And I don't think he had that speech in mind. It just came out. So she stayed on the show, and she stayed with the show for the whole of the series. Unfortunately, she's the only character who hasn't appeared in one of the later iterations. All the other characters or actors did, and she didn't. That always bugged me. She never got a role. She never showed up as somebody's mother or anything. She got prominence in some of the fan films because of the fact she wasn't in any of the real Star Trek productions after Star Trek 6. But yeah, I'm kind of losing my point. I'm just talking about too many things. But I just found it really offensive to act like it was just an achievement for her to be on that show and to get the recognition and attention that she did. I mean, for God's sakes, Martin Luther King Jr. said, you have to stay on the show.